come much closer, guys. Is anyone else live?
We are.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. My name is Tharu Vignaraja, former Deputy Attorney General of Maryland, now representing a number of the families affected by this horrific case. In the last couple of days, the Anne Arundel County School Board has confirmed that it is weighing what to do with a teacher who has been accused by multiple students of inappropriately touching them. A teacher who was charged with multiple felony counts, ultimately acquitted, but who is still considering continued employment in the Anne Arundel County public school system. This is a textbook matter of public concern. There are parents and community members and friends and teachers who care deeply about who is allowed to teach the children in this special community. A few weeks ago, when I first spoke on this case, I was reminded that so many families move to Anne Arundel County and to Severna Park in particular because of the schools. They come here because they've heard through friends, they've read reports that some of the very best schools in the state, some of the very best schools in the country are here in Severna Park, in Anne Arundel County. And so when they choose to move their family to a community, they take a leap of faith that what their friends have told them, that what has been publicly reported, that these are sanctuaries of learning where their kids will get a world-class education and be around children and teachers that will nourish their souls and feed their minds, is true. When that faith is broken by a particular teacher, it is wrenching. You've seen the signs all through the community. We believe them. We believe them. That one girl after another who has come forward is trusted by this community. And because we believe them, there is, in the view of so many members of the community, only one rational choice for the school board of Anne Arundel County. Even one girl coming forward and saying that a teacher inappropriately touched them, sexually molested them, is enough for that teacher to be terminated and certainly stopped from ever being in a classroom near children again. Even one allegation would be enough. So for the Anne Arundel School Board to even consider returning this teacher accused of so much by so many, to even consider that decision would require you to conclude that every one of these girls is lying. Not some of them are lying. You'd have to conclude that every single girl that has come forward, that has endured the pain, but had the courage to stand up and say, that teacher did something to me that I didn't allow, that I didn't want, that was against the law. It would require you to conclude that every one of those girls was lying. So in our view, this is not a difficult choice. But because the school board has made clear that they are understandably exploring the legal liability and everything else in considering this decision, the community has decided to weigh in as clearly and as loudly as it can and say with a single voice, we believe them. And because we believe them, you cannot allow this teacher accused of such heinous actions anywhere near any of our children again. Today, this community is launching a petition drive. A petition drive that will collect the signatures of residents, of parents, of concerned citizens who want to telegraph to the school board that it isn't just the handful, we hope, of families that were directly affected, or the dozens, maybe hundreds of families that were affected because they are neighbors and friends and their girls play with the girls that were directly victimized, but an entire community across Severna Park, across Anne Arundel County, frankly across the state of Maryland and beyond, that want to make clear that a school board should not have to think hard about what the right thing to do here is. That petition drive, the members of this community will start to share on social media, on text, over email, to their friends and neighbors, and to anyone who wants to make clear that the school board has to do the right thing here. We're sharing this with the media because we can't reach everyone. We certainly can't reach everyone fast enough to make sure that their voice is clear as to the weight of public sentiment on a matter of public concern. And so we are asking those who are in a position to share that this petition drive has started to communicate it as well. You can sign online. The only thing we ask for is that you provide a name and let us know whether you are a resident or a parent of this particular community. I want to just point out three things, and then we'll take some questions. First, the guidelines and handbooks that govern this issue are crystal clear. Every teacher here, every parent who's looked into it is quickly reminded that the guidelines emphasize that even one allegation is enough. One allegation, one violation of a child's trust, of a family's trust, of a community's trust is enough for termination, and certainly enough to preclude that person from returning to a teaching role. Second, I want to emphasize that we're here today because the school board has a meeting this afternoon. We understand that this subject, which deals with a particular teacher's personnel situation, is not going to be the subject of broad discussion. But the school board does invite the community to submit questions. And dozens of questions by the folks behind me and others have been submitted on this particular topic. They have asked what the school board is doing to modify their protocols to make sure this doesn't happen again. They've also asked how many girls need to come forward and accuse a teacher of inappropriately touching them before that teacher is stopped from ever teaching again. Is it 25? Is it a dozen? Is it the 5 that were the subject of a criminal trial? Or is it, as you indicate in your handbook, 1? That is a question that doesn't deal with Mr. Schlegel in particular. It is a policy determination. And the community of Severna Park in Anne Arundel County is entitled to an answer. And third, I want to make clear that the logic of the Anne Arundel County School Board's decision is in many ways preordained. Unless the school board is ready to say to all of these parents and all of these residents and all of these teachers and everyone who lives in Anne Arundel County that they don't believe a single girl who came forward independently and accused an elementary school teacher of touching them inappropriately when they were 9 and 10 years old. Unless the school board is prepared to say that they don't believe any of them, the decision to not reinstate Mr. Schlegel into a teaching role is preordained. So just do the right thing. Don't let him near the kids again. To do so would not just be offensive to the girls who came forward, who had the courage to speak truth to power, to the families who have had to endure night after night, week after week, month after month of tears and trauma. It would be reckless. It would be to put other children in harm's way. So just don't do it. Do the right thing. But in case you're wavering, be sure to know that the community of Anne Arundel County, the residents and parents in Severna Park, speak with one voice. The last thing I want to do, and I weighed putting them on the spot, but I just thought it was so powerful when I heard across the street that we're not just joined here today by parents and neighbors and residents, but a number of teachers at the affected school, teachers who taught with the accused teacher are here standing shoulder to shoulder with the parents, with the residents. And I'm just going to ask, if you don't mind, no obligation, but we are on break. This is your private time. If you would raise your hand if you are a teacher in the Anne Arundel County public school system. That is an illustration of the courage of teachers matching the courage of the students that they teach. That is what we ask of the Anne Arundel County School Board as well. I'll take a few questions.
Do you know when this decision has to be made by, or when they're going to go to vote?
We don't have any more information than all of you have. We know that there's a school board meeting today. We know there's a school board meeting in just about a month. And presumably, at least the decision of whether or not to allow this teacher back into a classroom has to be made before school starts. But that is, as a practical matter, the only timetable we're aware of.
The district hasn't been in contact with any of the parents involved in the case at all?
There are a number of Title IX investigations that are underway as a result of specific complaints that have been lodged by specific parents, but there has been no affirmative communication with respect to this question, with respect to those parents, to my knowledge.
Would you be satisfied if he's brought back in an administrative role and he's not dealing with children one-on-one?
It's a great question. The short answer is absolutely not. The appropriate action in light of the volume and character of the evidence against this teacher is to terminate him. That is the consensus view of everyone here. But short of that, it would just be offensive and reckless to allow him back into a classroom.
Have there been any discussions if he is allowed back into the classroom? Would parents pull their children from the school, or would more legal action be taken?
I don't want to speak on behalf of specific families. I can tell you that I have heard no less than a dozen times from parents that said, I have already started to weigh whether to keep my kids in this school system. That would certainly be a factor.
Hi, can we hear from somebody who's willing to speak, who's a member of the public or a part of this protest? It would really help to send a message.
I am going to look back. I know we talked about this, and Kate, I wish I had a person ready for you, but I am going to look back and see if there is a person who might share just even a couple of words. I promise.
Oh, I thought I saw you shake your head.
Yeah.
Anything.
It would be completely offensive. It would be completely reckless for this teacher to be allowed back in the classroom.
Without identifying, obviously, you don't want to identify yourself by name. Can you say compared to a community member?
I can tell you, if it's okay, that let me talk to him and then to confirm it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I know you spoke very eloquently last time, ma'am. You can come up to the microphone. No. Okay.
I think we're okay, guys. And look, I'm happy to explain why there is some pause, but I think there will be a time when that is appropriate. But I frankly, there is a decision that the school board needs to weigh in on. They want to make their voices heard through the petition drive. They want to let the community know that that is one clear, concrete way of showing your support for the children and to stand in solidarity with so many young girls who stood up and had the courage to speak out. That is why we are here today. Okay.
What legal actions could be taken against the district? Worst case scenario, if the voices aren't heard.
I think we would cross that bridge when we get there. What I can tell you is that, as you are aware, there have already been civil suits filed against the school board for allowing this to happen in the first place. And so I imagine that there's some lawyer somewhere in the school board who is saying, well, just make sure you know that the teacher might also have a lawsuit against you if you. There is liability in every decision that a government makes. But that is not why we put a school board in place to be lawyers worrying about liability risks in a state that has caps on damages. Their charge is to protect the kids. Their charge is to create sanctuaries of learning where communities can feel confident that their children are going into a place that makes them feel good about themselves and about learning and about one another. That is their only responsibility. And so whoever is chirping in the ear of school board members about liability risks is doing a disservice to the school board, whose principal and frankly only charge in a case or context like this is to protect the kids.
Two questions, one very quick, one not so. Does anybody here plan to speak during the public comment session of the meeting?
Yeah.
And during the trial, Mr. Schlegel's wife testified on his behalf, and her testimony raised some eyebrows among educators and administrators, even not connected with this case, questioning her ability to effectively lead a public school based on some of the things she said. Have any questions been raised about her and her employment or anything connected to that, given what her testimony during the trial?
Yeah, let me go to your second question first. The members of the community are certainly aware of what you're referencing. There may come a time and a place where it is appropriate to comment on it, but there was consensus that today is not the time or place. A number of the folks here are planning on attending the hearing, and a number of them are, I believe, planning on speaking. Because of the character of these public hearings, it is, as I understand, not appropriate to comment on an individual case, so there won't be any commentary on individual cases at the school board hearing, but of the folks that are assembled here, I think you can expect some number of them to walk inside for the meeting, which is
And speak as well.
and speak as well.
Thank you.
So, thank you everyone for your continued attention to this important topic. Just to reiterate and end with this, you cannot believe even one of these girls and allow this teacher to teach again. It is logically incompatible. So if you're going to allow this individual to ever be in a classroom teaching kids again, what you are telling the people of Severna Park and Anne Arundel County is that you don't believe a single one of these girls. That would be a disgraceful decision that would dishonor the courage of so many brave young girls who did exactly what we asked them, to step up